This is the Edexcel Foundation tier, paper 3 calculator. It's a practice paper for the 2022 exam. It's based on the advanced information, so all of the topics in this paper will be the same as the topics in the summer exam. Here we've got the formula sheet that you're going to be given in the exam. It may be useful for some of the questions. We can refer back to it if we need to. Question 1. Write 3.84761 correct to 3 decimal places. So that's 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal point. So then we look at the next number, the 4th one after the decimal point, and we say, is it 5 or above? If it is, we round up. If it isn't, we leave it the same. It's a 6, so it is 5 or above. So we round up. So the 7 is going to go up to an 8. So we're going to have 3.848. Question 2, write 23% as a fraction. Percent means per 100. So percent means out of 100. So 23% as a fraction is 23 over 100. The calculator will do this for us. We can write 23%, so that's Shift A and S, in the calculator, press equals, and it will change it to a fraction, or if we press S to D, a decimal as well. Question 3. Find the square root of 0.49. So in the calculator, square root, the square root button, and then inside the square root, 0.49. Press equals, and we get 7 tenths. So we can write either 7 tenths or 0.7. Either one would be okay. Question 4, write down all the factors of 18. So that's all the numbers that multiply to make 18. So it's going to be 1 times 18, 2 9s, or 3 6s. It's not in the 4 or the 5 times table, and then we're back around to 6. So this must be all of the factors. So it's 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Question 5. Here is a list of fractions. One of these fractions is not equivalent to 2/5. Write down this fraction. We've got a calculator, so we can use this just to explain equivalent fractions as well, though. So 2/5 is equivalent to 4 tenths. They mean the same thing. If you double the top and double the bottom, you get an equivalent fraction. So if you've got 2 pieces, 2 parts out of 5 in total, there's 5 parts in total, you've got 2. That's the same as if there are 10 parts in total, having 4. 4 tenths is the same as 2/5. And then if we did 3 times the top and the bottom, we'll get 6 on top. 2 3s are 6, 5 3s are 15. So 6/15 is another equivalent fraction. And you can keep listing these equivalent fractions forever. You could do the 4 times the top and the bottom and 5 times the top and the bottom. We can check if these fractions are equivalent by typing them into the calculator. So if you type a fraction into the calculator will simplify it for you. So 18/45 is equal to 2/5. 14/30 is not, it's 7/15. So 14/30 is not equivalent to 2/5, and I'll just show you that the other ones are. So 10/25, 8/20, and 16/40. Question 6. Sophie has a fair four-sided spinner. On the probability scale, mark with a cross the probability that the spinner lands on 2. So there are 2 2s, 1, 2, out of 4 parts, 4 sections in total. So the probability of getting a 2 is 2 out of 4, which is the same as 1/2. So it's 1/2. Half of our sections have got a 2 on them. Write down the probability the spinner lands on a 4. There are no 4s. So the probability that the spinner lands on 4 is 0. Question 7. Write 22 as a percentage of 58. Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. So 22 out of 58 as a fraction is 22 over 58, and to change it to a percentage, we times by 100. So to change a decimal or a fraction to a percentage, we times by 100. So we've got 22 58ths times 100, which is 37.9. But we wanted our answer to the nearest whole number. So the number after the decimal point is a 9. That is 5 or above. So we're rounding up. So it's 38. It's closer to 38% than it is to 37%. Question 8. In a box of chocolates, there are 11 milk chocolates, 5 dark chocolates, and 7 white chocolates. Charlie takes one at random. Write down the probability that he takes a white chocolate. So there are 7 white chocolates out of how many in total? Well, if we add up 11 and 5 and 7, that's 23 in total. So 11 and 5 and 7 make 23. So there are 23 chocolates in total. So there are 7 white out of 23 in total. So it's 7 out of 23. Question 9. There are 1,100 students at a school. 540 students are girls. The rest are boys. So let's work that out. So how many boys are there? The total, take away the number of girls, 560. So 560 boys. 1/10 of the girls are left-handed. 1/8 of the boys are left-handed. Work out the number of left-handed students at the school. So the total number of left-handed students. 1/10 of the girls. So 1/10 of, and for of, we write times the girls, 540. And 1/8 of the boys, 1/8 times the number of boys. So we can just type these in the calculator and find out how many left-handed girls and how many left-handed boys there are. So 1/10 of 540 is 54. And 1/8 of 560 is 70. So there are 54 left-handed girls, 70 left-handed boys. So in total, 54 plus 70 is 124. Question 10. Here is a 3D shape. Write down the name of this 3D shape. So this is called a triangular prism. Triangular prism. So it's a triangle on the front. You can see the front shape's a triangle, and it's the same the whole way through. So it's also a triangle. If you sliced it at any point, you would get the same triangle. So it's the same the whole way through. It's a triangle in the front. It's called a triangular prism. Write down the number of edges of this 3D shape. So how many edges? So we've got 1, 2, 3 on the front triangle. We've got 1, 2, 3 going back, and then 1, 2, 3 on the back triangle. So we've got 9 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Question 11. A shop sells washing powder in 650 gram packs. Jacob has no washing powder. He estimates that he does 2 washes a week using 40 grams each wash. He wants to buy enough washing powder for 13 weeks. How many packs of washing powder does Jacob need to buy? So 2 washes a week, 40 grams a wash. That's 80 grams of washing powder a week. He wants 13 weeks. So 80 grams a week for 13 weeks. 80 times 13, 1040. So that's how much he needs. That's how much washing powder he needs. It's in 650 gram packs. How many does he need? So 650 grams is 1 pack. That's not enough, but if he gets 2 650s are 1,300 grams in 2 packs, which is enough. That's more than he needs. So he needs to buy 2 packs. Question 12. Last year the cost of Tom's train ticket was £42. This year the cost of Tom's train ticket was increased to £50. Write down the increase in the cost of Tom's ticket as a fraction of last year's cost. So what is the increase? 50 take away 42 is £8. So that's the increase. So we need to write that as a fraction of last year's cost, which was 42. So 8 over 42. We weren't asked to simplify it, so we can leave it as 8 over 42. If we did simplify it, we'd half the top and bottom, which will be 4 over 21. Either one would be okay. Question 13. The diagram shows 2 shapes on a centimeter grid. Find the area of shape P. So the squares haven't come out very well on this copy of the paper, but the area of a triangle can be found by doing half times the base times the height, or base times height divided by 2. So the base here is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's half times 4 times 6. Actually, where the squares haven't printed quite well, it actually shows us something. So the area of this rectangle here, the rectangle that hasn't printed very well, so this rectangle here, the area of a rectangle is the base times the height, 4 times 6. And we can actually see from this diagram that we've got half of the rectangle. So we've got half of this part of the rectangle on the left, half of the bit on the right. So it shows us a triangle is half a rectangle. So it's the same as doing 4 times 6 and then half in it. Base times height divided by 2. Half times base times height. So half times base times height is 12. So it's 12 centimeters squared. If we'd even counted these squares here, we would have got 24 squares for the whole rectangle and then half it for 12. Part B, write down the mathematical name for shape Q. So we need to know the names of our four-sided shapes. And this one is called a parallelogram. This one's a parallelogram. It's got two sets of parallel sides. It's a parallelogram. Question 14. Find the value of 30.5 squared plus 12.1 squared. We can use our calculator for this one. So we can just type it in exactly how it looks. 30.5 squared plus 12.1 squared. If these were negative numbers, we would have had to make sure that we put them in brackets. But as they're positive, it would have worked with or without the brackets. So we've got 1076.66. So that's our answer. And for part B, find the value of the square root of 5.13 plus 10.28, and then take away 0.97. So the take away 0.97 is out of the square root sign. So in the square root sign, we've got 5.13 plus 10.28. Then I'm going to click to the right to get out of the square root sign, and then take away 0.97. So that's exactly how it looks. Press equals, and we've got 2.955557285. So just check I've put the right number down. 2.955557285. Question 15. A, B, and C, D are parallel lines. An angle of 110 degrees is shown on the diagram. Write down the letter of one other angle of size 110 degrees. So we could have, we've got options here, we could have B as a vertically opposite angle. So B is 110 because vertically opposite angles, or you could just write opposite angles, are equal. The angle that corresponds to 110, so the same one on the other parallel line, is F. And they're called corresponding angles. So we could have F is 110 because corresponding angles are equal. Or we could have D is 110, and that's an alternate angle. Alternate angles are equal. There's also a possibility of doing angles in a straight line and then co-interior angles. So you'd need both of those reasons. But any reason that works is okay. We'll go with 110. No, not 110. We want the letter, so B. And that's because vertically opposite angles are equal. Question 16. The accurate scale drawing shows the positions of two towns, town A and town B. 2 centimeters represent 1 kilometer. So every 2 centimeters in our drawing is 1 kilometer in real life. Find the real distance between town A and town B. So we need to measure the distance between A and B, and then use our scale to change it into the real distance. So we can see from the ruler, we grab the ruler, measure the distance between A and B, and we've got 5 centimeters. So 5 centimeters on the map, on the scale, on the drawing, 5 centimeters. How much is that in real life? What's the real distance? So every 2 centimeters is 1 kilometer. So every 1 centimeter must be half a kilometer. So 5 centimeters is 5 halves. 5 0.5s, that's 2.5. So this is 2.5 kilometers in real life. Part B says town C is 3.2 kilometers from B on a bearing of 255 degrees. So a bearing is measured from the north line and clockwise. So from B, it's around 255 degrees. Now our protractor only goes up to 180. So what we'll do, instead of measuring this angle around here, which is the 255, instead of that, we can measure the angle in here. So if we do 360, take away 255, the whole way round the circle is 360 degrees. So take off the 255, that leaves us with 105. So instead of measuring clockwise, like we do with a bearing, we can measure anti-clockwise, 105 degrees. So from B, we're going to measure from the north line on B, we'll measure 105 degrees anti-clockwise. So what we'll do, we'll line up the north line, put the point, the center on the cross, line up 0 degrees on the north line, so that we're using the inside numbers, measure round 105 degrees. So 105 degrees, that will be there, and we'll draw a line. So draw a line from the cross in that direction. I'll just check I've got that right. So it looks right. Yeah, that's okay. So that's a line on a bearing of 255 degrees. From north, it's 255 degrees around. But we also need the distance of 3.2 kilometers. So 3.2 kilometers. Each 1 kilometer is 2 centimeters. So 3.2 kilometers will be 6.4 centimeters. Every 1 kilometer in real life is 2 centimeters on the map. So that's 6.4 centimeters. So we need this line to be 6.4 centimeters long. So let's get the ruler. We want 6.4 centimeters. So we need the line to be a little bit longer. To there, so 6.4 centimeters. And there is our point. We need to mark town C with a cross on the diagram. So that's town C. And if I can just extend that. So town C is 6.4 centimeters on a bearing of 255 degrees from B. Question 17. A car is traveling at a speed of 120 kilometers per hour. Find the speed of the car in meters per second. So a kilometer is 1,000 meters. So if it's going 120 kilometers per hour, that means it's going 120,000 meters in every hour. Now we have to change hours to seconds. We can change hours to minutes because there are 60 minutes in an hour. So if we divide this by 60, if it can go 120,000 meters in an hour, we need to divide that by 60 to see how far it goes in a minute. So 120,000 divided by 60 is 2,000. So it goes 2,000 meters every minute. And again, there are 60 seconds in a minute. So if we divide by 60 again, we'll find out how far it goes every second. And that's 100 over 3, or 33.3 recurring. So 33.3 recurring meters every second, meters per second. Question 18. ABC is a straight line, which we can see on the diagram. Show that ABD, the triangle, is an isosceles triangle. So in an isosceles triangle, the two angles at the base are equal. So two angles are equal. We can find the missing angles, and if two are equal, then it's an isosceles triangle. So we can find ABD by doing 180 take away 124. Angles in a straight line add up to 180. So 180 take away 124 is 56. So this angle here is 56 degrees. Then we can use angles in a triangle. Angles in a triangle add up to 180. So if we take away the 68 and take away the 56, we'll find our missing angle. So 180 take away 68 and take away 56 is 56. So the two angles, the two missing angles that we found are both 56. Two angles equal 56 degrees. Therefore, it's an isosceles. So two angles are equal. Question 19. Factorize fully 30x cubed plus 12x. So what can we take out of this? Factorize means put into brackets. What can we take out? So 30 and 12. What's the biggest times table they're both in? That's the 6 times table. So we can take 6 outside the bracket. And they both have an x in them. So we can take 6x outside the bracket. 6x times what makes 30x cubed. 6 times 5 is 30. And x times x squared is x cubed. And then 6x times what makes 12x squared. Well, 6 times 2 is 12, so 6x times 2 is 12x. There's no more common factors left inside, so we've factorized fully. Part B, solve. 5 times f minus 2 equals 22. So we could start by expanding this bracket. So get rid of the bracket, do 5 times both the terms inside the bracket. 5 times f is 5f. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. That equals 22. Then we could plus 10 to both sides. To solve it, we need to get f by itself. So we need to get rid of this take away 10 by doing the opposite, which is adding 10. So add 10 to both sides. 5f is 32. And then divide both sides by 5. So f is, we could leave it as 32 over 5, but the calculator will change it to a decimal. We don't have to. I'm going to leave it as 32 fifths. If you put your answer as 6.4, that's also correct. Question 20. Light A flashes every 8 seconds. Light B flashes every 20 seconds. Both lights flash at the same time. Work out how long it will take for both lights to flash at the same time again. So this is a lowest common multiple question. We could find it out by just listing all the multiples, so the 8 times table and the 20 times table, and seeing how long it takes until they have the same number in. So not that long. So they've both got a 40 in. That's the lowest number in both of them. So it'll be after 40 seconds. So 40 seconds. Another way of finding the lowest common multiple is we could break them down to their prime factors. So 8 is 4 times 2. So 4 is 2 times 2. So we've got 2 times 2 times 2. And 20 is 2 times 10. And 10 is 2 times 5. And they're all prime. So if we did a quick Venn diagram with 8 and 20, so they've both got 2 2's inside them. So that's shared by both of them. Then 8 has got another 2, and 20 has got another 5. So the lowest common multiple is 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So the lowest common multiple is 2 times 2 times 2 times 5, which is, well, 8 times 5, which is 40. But it depends on which numbers we're given as to which method is easier. In this case, it was a lot easier to just list the numbers until we got a common multiple. If the numbers were more complicated, it may have been easier to use the prime factors. Question 21. Here are the times in seconds it took 15 boys to complete a puzzle. So we've got 15 times here. They're not in order. And part A says work out the median. So to find the median is the middle number. And to find it, we're going to need to put them in order. So let's write these numbers in order. So the lowest are the 30s. So we've got 32, 33, 35, and 36. Then the 40s, we've got 40. There's no more 40s. There's no 41, so 42, 43, 44, 45, and 47. Then on to the 50s, we've got 52. We've got two 54s. And a 58 and a 59. So we've got 15 numbers still. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the median is the middle number. So if we cross off from both sides, we should be left with the one in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in the middle, we've got 44. Find the range. The range is the biggest number. Take away the smallest number. So 59 is the biggest. 32 is the smallest. So 59 take away 32 is 27. 15 girls also completed the puzzle. The table below shows information about the times in seconds it took 15 girls to complete the puzzle. So we've got the lowest, the median, and the greatest. Compare the distributions. So we can compare the medians and compare the range. We need to compare an average, which is the median, and a measure of spread, which will be the range. So the range for the girls is 58, take away 30, which is 28. So let's compare them. So the boys' median was 44, the girls was 47. So the girls' median and it's time to complete a puzzle. So median time was greater. So on average, the girls took longer to complete the puzzle. And how about the range? So the girls was 28, the boys was 27. So the girls' times were more spread out. They had a greater range. So the girls' times were more spread out. The girls' range is greater than the boys. And that's enough information. So we compare the median and compare a measure of spread. So in this case, the range. Question 22. The frequency table shows the heights in centimeters of some tomato plants. And we need to draw a frequency polygon. So with a frequency polygon, we put the midpoint against the frequency. So the middle of 144 and 150 is 145. The middle of 150 and 160, 155. We'll have 165, 175, and 185. That's the middle of all of these ranges. And then we plot these, so that 145 against 7. 145, 7. So these are going up in twos. So 145, 7 is there. 155, 10. 165, 15. 175, 19, so 2 little boxes down from 20, and 185, 9, so 2 little boxes down from 10. So we've plotted these points now. Now we get a ruler and we join the points up with straight lines. So for a frequency polygon, we're plotting the midpoint against the frequency, and we're joining our points up with a ruler with a straight line. And that's our frequency polygon. Question 23. Banana Computers sold 19.3 million computers in 2017. In 2018, they sold 18.2 million computers. Work out the percentage decrease in the number of computers sold. Give your answer to 3 significant figures. So whenever we're working out a percentage increase, a percentage decrease, a percentage profit, any percentage change, we use the change over the original times 100. So what's it changed by? So it's gone from 19.3 to 18.2. So it's gone from 19.3 to 18.2. So it's gone down by whatever this is. So 18.2 take away 19.3. Divide that by the original, which was 19.3. That's what we started with. So in 2017, it was 19.3. The year after, it had gone down to 18.2. So the original is 19.3. So change over original times 100. This is going to give me a negative answer because I've put 18.2 take away 19.3. Because it's gone down, it'd be a percentage decrease, it'd be negative. If we had put those the other way around, it would be absolutely fine. We would just get a positive answer, and that would be the size of the percentage decrease. It'd be the same number, just without the negative sign. So let's type this in the calculator. 18.2 minus 19.3 over 19.3 times 100. So we've got negative 5.699%. So it's a decrease of 5.699%. We want our answer to 3 significant figures. So 1, 2, 3. The next numbers are 9, so we round up. So 9 rounded up goes to 10, or 69 rounded up goes to 70. So we've got 5.70%. We don't need to write the negative sign on the answer line because it's the size of the percentage decrease. It's a decrease of 5.70%. Question 24. The value of a house increased by 6%. The house then had a value of 265,000. Work out the value of the house before the increase. So this is a reverse percentage question. The percentage change has already taken place. So we could say 265,000 is 106%. So it's 100%, the original, plus a 6%. We can find 1% by dividing by 106. So if we take 265,000 and divide by 106, we get 2,500. So 2,500 is 1%. Then if we multiply by 100, so add on 2 zeros, that would be 100%. So that's 250,000 would be the original amount. If you add 6% on to 250,000, you get 265,000. Another way of thinking of this is if you have the original amount, we'll call that X, and to add on 6%, we can multiply by 1.06. That's 106% written as a decimal. So a quick way of adding on 6% is to multiply by 1.06. So the original times 1.06 is 265,000. To get X by itself, divide both sides by 1.06, and that will give you the answer. So 265,000 over 1.06 gives us our answer of 250,000. Question 25. We've got s equals ut plus half at squared. We're told u is -5, a is 4, and t is 3. We need to work out the value of s. So this is a substitution question. So we're going to change u into -5. Wherever I'm substituting in for a letter, I'm going to put brackets and then the number inside the brackets. So u and then t, which is 3, plus half times a, which is 4, and t squared. So 3 squared. So I've just changed all the letters to brackets and put the numbers in for the brackets, and now I can just type this into the calculator. So we have -5 times 3 plus half, click across to get out of the fraction, times 4 times 3 squared, press equals, and our answer is 3. So s is equal to 3. Part B, make a the subject of the formula. So rearrange this to get it to a equals, to get a by itself. I'm going to take away ut from both sides first. So to get rid of a plus, we take away. So take ut away from both sides. So s minus ut is half at squared. Then I'm going to double both sides, multiply both sides by 2. To do that, I'm going to use a bracket. So I'm multiplying this whole side by 2. We could also just multiply both the terms by 2. It doesn't matter. If you put 2s, take away 2ut, that would also be okay. So I'm multiplying the whole side by 2. So I'm putting a bracket there. So the whole side multiplied by 2. Then I'm going to get t squared by itself. No, I'm not. I want a by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by t squared. I want a to be the subject. So at the moment it's multiplied by t squared. So to get it by itself, I need to divide both sides by t squared. So that's my answer. I could also have this bracket expanded, which will be 2s minus 2ut over t squared. Either way would be okay. So either one of these two answers are okay. Question 26. There are 120 people in a school canteen. 40% of the people in the canteen are year 11 students. Let's work that out. So 40% of 120. So 40% times 120. 40% times 120. I'm changing of to times. So 40% of 120 is 48. So there's 48 year 11s. The number of year 11s is 3 times the number of year 10s. So divide by 3. So there are 16 year 10s. The rest of the people are year 9. So 120, take away 48 and take away 16. Is 56. So there's 56 year 9s. The number of year 9 students to the number of year 10 students is n to 1. Work out the value of n. So the ratio of year 9s to year 10s, so year 9s 56 to year 10s 16. We need to write it in the form n to 1. So to get it in the form n to 1, well, we need the year 10s to be one part. So we divide both of them by 16. So that will give us a 1 here. So 56 over 16 is 7 over 2, or 3.5. Either one would be okay. So n is either 7 over 2 or 3.5. Question 27. Amy drives 300 miles from London to Newcastle. She drives the first 165 miles at an average speed of 60 miles an hour. From this point, it takes Amy 3 hours and 5 minutes to complete her journey. What was Amy's average speed for the whole journey? Okay, so we've got speed is equal to distance over time. And we need the speed for the whole journey. So it's going to be total distance. So average speed for the whole journey will be total distance divided by the total time. So we know the total distance. That's 300. We don't know the total time. So we know the time for the second part of the journey, but not the first. So to find time, so if we multiply both sides by time, speed times time is equal to distance. So time divide both sides by speed is distance over speed. So for the first part, time is distance over speed. Distance is 165. The speed is 60. So 165 over 60 is 11 over 4, or 2.75. 2.75 hours. We could change that into hours and minutes. So we've got 3/4 of an hour. 0.75 is 3/4. So that's 45 minutes. Press the time button though, and it will tell us that. So 2 hours, 45 minutes. 2 hours, 45 minutes. So now we can work out the average speed for the whole journey. So speed is total distance, which is 300, over total time. So 3 hours 5 mins plus 2 hours 45 minutes. So we've got 300 over 5 hours and 50 minutes. We've got an option here. We can either change this to a decimal, so 50 minutes, so it's 5 hours and 50 out of 60 minutes, or 5 and 5/6. 5/6 we could say is 5 over 6, which is 0.83. So it's 5.83 as a decimal. So we could use that. 300 divided by, may as well use it, seeing it's in the calculator. 300 over 5.83. So 51.4. 51.4 miles per hour. The other way would be to use the time button. So 300 over 5 hours and 50 minutes, we get the same answer, 51.4. So 51.4 miles per hour. Question 28. Potatoes cost £9 for a 12.5 kilogram bag at the farm shop. The same bag of potatoes costs £1.83 for a 2.5 kilogram bag at a supermarket. Where are the potatoes better value, the farm shop or the supermarket, you must show your working. So we need to make them the same to compare them. So the easiest thing to do is to make these weights the same. If we multiply 2.5 by 5, we'll get 12.5. 2.5 times 5 is 12.5. So if we multiply that by 5, £1.83 by 5, that's £9.15. So at the supermarket, it will be £9.15 for 12.5 kilograms. So which is cheaper? So it's either £9 at the farm shop or £9.15 at the supermarket. So the farm shop is better value for money. £9 is less than £9.15. Question 29. ABCD is a trapezium. Calculate the area of ABCD. So we need to find the area of the trapezium. So it's half times A plus B times the height. A and B are the two parallel sides, so half of these two added together, half of these two added together, times the height, which will be this one, 15. So we don't have the information, we can say H is 15, and one of these sides is 12, but we don't know this other side. We're going to need to work it out in order to find the area of the trapezium. So what we can do is, if we draw a straight line here, we get a right angled triangle. We get a right angled triangle here with a hypotenuse of 17. This length will be 15, be exactly the same as AB, and we can work out this part here. Once we know that, we can do 12, take away that, which will give us B. So this is a Pythagoras question. It's a Pythagoras question. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. These formulas, if we just go back to our formula page, area of a trapezium, half A plus B times height, is given to us. And Pythagoras' theorem, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, is given to us. So those two formulas we have them, they're given to us in our formula book, in our formula sheet. So A squared and A and B are the two shorter lengths. So we'll call this one X. So X squared plus 15 squared equals the hypotenuse squared, 17 squared. So take away 15 squared from both sides. So 17 squared. Take away 15 squared is 64. So X squared is 64. To get X by itself, we square root. So square root 64, and that's 8. So this length is 8. So B must be, the whole way is 12. This part is 8. So 12 take away 8, which is 4. So B must be 4 centimeters. So now we've got all the information we need to find the area of the trapezium. So it's half times 12 plus 4 times the height, which is 15. So let's just type it in. Half of 12 plus 4 times 15, and that's 120. So 120 centimeters squared. Question 30. The diagram shows a rectangle and a triangle. The perimeter of the rectangle is equal to the perimeter of the triangle. Find the value of x. So the perimeter is the length the whole way around the edge of the shape. And the rectangle, the two opposite ones, are equal. So this is 2x plus 7, and this one must be x minus 5. So all of these added up is equal to all of these added up. So we can make an equation. So all of these added up equals all of these added up. So I'm going to write, instead of writing 2x plus 7 plus 2x plus 7, I'm going to write 2 times 2x plus 7. And instead of writing x minus 5 plus x minus 5, I'm going to write 2 times x minus 5. That's the perimeter of the rectangle. And then the triangle is x plus 2x plus 2x plus 11. All of the lengths added together. So I'm going to expand the brackets first. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 7s are 14. 2 times x is 2x. 2 negative 5s and negative 10. And I'll just rewrite this side for now. Now I'm going to collect all the like terms. So on my left side, my x's, I've got these x terms, 4x and 2x. That makes 6x. And I've got plus 14, take away 10. We're always using the sign from in front of the number. So 14 take away 10 is 4. On the right, I've got 1x plus 2x plus another 2x. 1 plus 2 plus 2, that's 5 x's. And I've just got an 11. So plus 11. Now I'm solving this. I'm going to get rid of the smallest x first, which is 5x. So take 5x away from both sides. So it's gone from this side. 6x take away 5x is just 1x. So x plus 4 equals 11. Now to get x by itself, I need to take away 4 from both sides. 11 take away 4 is 7. So x is 7. And question 31. Here are the first 5 terms of a sequence. 9, 14, 19, 24, 29. Find an expression in terms of n for the nth term of this sequence. So this sequence is going up in 5s. From 9 to 14 is plus 5, 14 to 19, and so on. So plus 5 every time. That means it's like the 5 times table. The 5 times table is called 5n. And that goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And the sequence, we can see, is always 4 more. It's always 4 more than the 5 times table. Each term is 4 more than the 5 times table. So it's called the 5 times table plus 4. 5n plus 4.